I'm Leonard Maltin, and like almost every movie buff I know, I love Roman Holiday. It's an irresistible movie. And part of the reason is the star that it presented, that it unveiled to the world, Audrey Hepburn. She'd made a few small films, small parts in not too well-known movies, but this is the film that officially, and to use Paramount's word, presented her. It presented her to the world. And what a perfect showcase, what a perfect build-up it was. And what a compatible co-star in Gregory Peck. Neither Gregory Peck nor director William Wyler had done a comedy in a long, long time. So they were both eager to engage in this project together, and they both look forward to spending an extended time in Rome, and did exactly that. William Wyler brought his longtime film editor, Robert Swink, along with him. He brought his family, including his wife, who was pregnant with their fourth child. So they got all the benefits of living in Rome. I think that comes through in the movie. I think the tangible feeling of enjoying the beauty and the eccentricities and the people of that great city are part of the fabric of the film. The backstory of it is that the original script had been written by Dalton Trumbo and purchased by Frank Capra when he was under contract to Paramount in the late 40s. And he had mixed feelings about it, especially when Paramount wanted him to do it on a very tight budget. And it underwent several other script revisions, including one by Ben Hecht, maybe the greatest screenwriter of all time. And finally, William Wyler said, in the wake of a big hit for Paramount called Detective Story with Kirk Douglas, Wyler said he would do it if they let him shoot it in Rome in its entirety. Paramount said, "Oh, you can shoot second unit in Rome. We'll build sets here back on the Paramount lot." He said, "Nothing doing. Either do it all in Rome or not at all." So they gave in to him because he was a very bankable director as far as they were concerned. So they acceded to his wishes. He set up shop in Rome and used the Cinecittà studios as his headquarters when necessary, when they're not out on actual locations, and made this wonderful, wonderful film. In the aftermath of its enormous success, and with 10 Oscar nominations and 3 wins, including Best Actress for newcomer Audrey Hepburn, in the wake of that, there's an after story, which is that Dalton Trumbo was not allowed to take credit for his work at this very fraught time in Hollywood history, the blacklist. So he asked his friend Ian McClellan Hunter if he would front for Trumbo. And this was a common practice. In fact, there's a whole movie with Woody Allen called The Front, all about this period, and it's a really interesting period. So the man who actually devised the story and co-wrote the screenplay never got credit for it, and that was Dalton Trumbo. And the Writers Guild tried to set this right, and they did in a 2-phase effort. First, getting Trumbo his original story credit restored to the picture, and then on this new Blu-ray release for the first time, getting the screenplay, the co-screenplay credit he always deserved. And this is a source of great satisfaction, of course, to the Trumbo family and to anybody who wants to see justice done. And justice has finally been served. The film, I think, is as fresh as it was the day it came out in 1953. It doesn't age, just as every generation seems to discover the charm of Audrey Hepburn. She, like the film, is irresistible. And that's why it's a treat and a pleasure to have it restored and looking so good, looking and sounding so good.
Thanks, Leonard. Yeah, I'm so glad that Wyler decided to take this film to Rome, because it just sort of, that was one of the pleasures of restoring it, was actually restoring these fantastic images that were shot in Rome at this sort of amazing moment in time, too, where it's post-war, Rome's sort of opening up again, and there's sort of a feeling of celebration anyway that fits this story so well. So that's such an extra advantage, I think, to this film. And it also sort of contributed a little bit to some of the issues around the restoration of the film, too. This was really an early location shoot for Hollywood. Hollywood, like you said, let's just build some stuff on the back lot. Why do you need to go there? That was a much easier thing to do for Hollywood. That was what they were used to doing. They were used to build, that was where things could be controlled. And remember, in those days, too, cameras were difficult. You would need to have tons of lights just to get an image. And that controlled setting of a stage was really how everyone knew. And also, everybody that was working on the movie was on a lot already. They worked there every day. So the whole concept of having a location crew and sending it out was all new in a lot of ways. And one of the things that was also new was using a lab other than the ones that people were usually used to using for making dailies, making prints, things like that, that they used a lab in Rome. And so as a result, standards were different for the Roman labs, or the fact that they constantly had to print dailies off the negative might have contributed to it. But as a result, the original negative itself, which is sadly lost, was damaged while it was being made. We have a fine grain from that original negative where we can see some of the damage that was inherent in that original neg. And so we had to go back and really sort of frame by frame restore some of the scratching, some of the bad splicing that had happened in order to bring that beauty of both Weiler's vision and the great cinematographer Franz Planner, who were inspired by some of the Italian neorealists and other things that all ended up in that film. So the story of Rome is a story about the film and the story about the restoration too. And you also mentioned Trumbo's credit too, and that's another sort of wonderful story, a story of friendship as well between the son of Dalton Trumbo and the son of Ian Hunter, who got to know each other actually when Ian Hunter actually was in Mexico dealing with some of the blacklist issues himself. And the families were very close, and the two sons became friends. And over the years, they really worked hard. I mean, I think it was from 1953 to 2011. They worked hard to try to actually get this credit back. It's an incredible story. The Academy in 1993 ended up awarding the story credit to Trumbo, but that wasn't good enough for them. They kept pushing the WGA to actually get the screenplay credit in there too, and they finally did. Sadly, it happened 3 days after Christopher Trumbo died, a sort of deathbed wish by his friend Ian Hunter's son to make that happen. And so that's another wonderful story to be able to honor in this restoration by giving Trumbo his full credit. The other thing about this restoration too is, we have, when we have a title like this, we do remasters and restorations a number of times. It's not the first time. It's not our first rodeo with this film or many other really great titles. I think the difference in this restoration now is that we were able, the tools for digital restoration are so advanced that you're really able to take something as damaged as that original negative, or actually the copy of that original negative that we had, and use these tools to make sure that you're not taking out anything you don't want to take out. You're honoring the original film grain, but you're also taking out the difficulties and the problems that would make it hard to watch. And you don't want to have a hard time watching this movie. You want to have the best possible experience. You want to enjoy every frame, every minute of this film. So that was another advantage this time around in this time, is to be able to use the tools that have advanced, both because there have been so many great restorations done and the tools have advanced for them, but also digital restoration tools are the same tools that are often used in special effects. And so really great digital restoration artists are constantly scouring the different kinds of packages and software they can use to make sure that they are, we're using the best tool for the film we're working on at any time. We did not do an upmix on this film to 5:1. It is a mono mix. That is, we'd often do an upmix because it's sort of a modern way people are used to doing that. But we only do it if the materials are actually available to do that. We can't fake it all the time. You have to have a multi-track source material to start with. and we didn't. And so we made the choice to do, but we, cleaned it up. It still sounds fantastic. So you'll get that beautiful mono experience along with the beautiful digital restoration.